Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today, we are going to speak about pomegranate, specifically pomegranate juice and its beneficial effects on the cardiovascular system. A little bit of science here. The scientific name of pomegranate is Punica granatum. The genus name Punica comes from Latin Punica, which stands for Carthage, which was an ancient city in Tunisia, around Tunisia, and the species granatum. The name comes from Granada, a town in Spain where the fruits used to abound. The plant belongs to the family Lythraceae. It has been shifted from a number of families, Punicaceae, Myrtaceae, but the latest is Lythraceae. The common names are pomegranate in English, in French grenade, in German Granatapfel, in Spanish granata. The part used is the fruit pulp, which contains quite a lot of tannins, mainly hydrolyzable tannins such as Punica, lagine alpha and beta, which are elagitannins, as well as phenolics, gallic acid and elagic acid, and anthocyanins. And you can read more on this on the papers published by Feng and co-workers in 2017 and Miguel and co-workers in 2004. The medical history pomegranate is known from a very long time. I think it is found in the Torah or in the Bible. It is known in India for a very long time. In the Sanskrit text, it has been called dadima and was used by Ayurvedic physicians thousands of years ago for fever. Dioscoride call it malum punicum, which can be translated as the apple from Carthage. And the Persian physician Ibn Sina, which I think was living around 10th century AD, recommends it for the heart. The French botanist and medical doctor and professor of university at Montpellier around the 16th century says that pomegranate is good for the stomach and dysentery, lots of affections, bleeding. And in the North America 19th century, the flesh of pomegranate fruit was renowned to allay thirst, to be cooling, and to treat bilious fevers. Pomegranate is used in lots of countries in Asia. I can't go here into all details. What transpires is obviously astringency. That's why it is used for diarrhea and diabetes in Turkey. It is used for also heart palpitations and as cardiotonic and for blood pressure in Pakistan. It is used in India for lots of diseases, including jaundice and urinary tract infection, dysentery in Bangladesh, diarrhea in China, and in the Philippines. It is known to be good for hepatitis. Now, let us look into current published evidence on the beneficial effect of intake of pomegranate on the body. There is a lot of publications. I will go through only a few, which are, I think, perhaps the most significant. There is a study which has been done by Aviram and co-workers in 2004, in which elderly patients given a juice, pomegranate juice daily for a year, were protected against uh, arterial stenosis. This is very interesting, meaning to say that it will on the long term prevent the hardness and the stiffness of arteries. And these researchers have found that taking juice for a year was able to it's a bit complicated, a lot of science here, but to make it short, a decrease of systolic blood pressure by about 12%, and this is very important. In another study by the same authors, intake of 50 ml per day for 2 weeks of pomegranate juice in hypertensive patients were able to decrease systolic blood pressure by about almost 10 millimeters of mercury, also very significant. In another study by Stockton and co-workers in 2007, we have here intake of capsules containing a extract of fruits for 8 weeks caused a decrease of systolic blood pressure from, it was very small, it was only about 3 millimeters of mercury, which suggests that taking the fresh juice seems to be much better than capsules made of extracts of pomegranate. We also have a later study by Asghari and co-workers in 2014, here again using fresh juice of pomegranate at the dose of 150 ml per day for 2 weeks, evoke a decrease of systolic blood pressure from about 130 to 124 millimeters of mercury. And in that study from Asghari and co-workers 2014, there is the interesting observation that the plasmatic contents of vascular endothelial adhesion molecule 1 is being decreased. We'll go back into that later. The intake of juice of pomegranate doesn't have much effects on plasma cholesterol, triglycerides and glucose. I don't think it is, in the light of published papers, the main interest of this plant, although since you've got a lot of tannins, taking pomegranate juice with fatty meals perhaps may interfere with the absorption of fats, but this is just an hypothesis. Let us go to the heart, and we have here 2 studies. One study published by Sommer and co-workers in 2005, very interesting. The juice taken daily by patients with ischemic coronary heart disease for 3 months decreased stress-induced coronary ischemia. Very interesting. The juice contains ellagic acid, and ellagic acid given to rats for 10 days orally at the dose of 15 mg per kilo per day protected these animals against isoproterenol-induced myocardial infections in a study published by Cannan and Quinn in 2013. On the kidneys, there is a beneficial effect of taking pomegranate juice in rats. 3 ml per kilo was able to reduce plasma creatinine. So, in summary of all of this, in the light of whatever has been published so far, it is obvious that taking fresh pomegranate juice is beneficial on the cardiovascular system. It seems to render the arteries a bit more flexible. With aging, the arteries tend to become stiff. There is also, in the study of Asghari and co-workers published in 2014, the observation that vascular endothelial adhesion molecule 1 content in the plasma is decreased after taking pomegranate. Interestingly, this vascular endothelial adhesion molecule 1 is responsible for the initial phase of development of atherosclerosis. So pomegranate may not be able to decrease plasma lipids and glucose, but might be able to inhibit the formations of atheroma. There's a warning. Taking tannins at too high dose in animals, more than 2 grams per kilo, results in liver injuries. So in conclusion, taking fresh pomegranate juice or bottled pomegranate juice, I don't think that capsules are very efficient. This is not a claim, okay? In the light of published paper, is beneficial for people with high blood pressure, and also perhaps for diabetics, in which there is a lot of increase of stiffness in arteries and veins, and pre-diabetics. With this, I thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.